every rose has its thorn, just like every man has his dawn, just like every cowboy sings a same song. Every rose has its thorn. Okay, as always, I have music that goes along with their topic. And this topic is all about, I will go back, plant and animal science, just part one. And so I need for you to get in your notebook, go to a fresh page and head it, Plant and Animal Science, part one. And I want you to write down the essential question because that's what we're working on. We're going to find out, how do animal and plant structures, what the way they're shaped, the things about them, what things about them support their ability to survive in the wilderness or wherever. How does it help them grow, their behavior? How does it affect that? And to reproduce, to make more of them. So that's what we're going to study, is how do plant and animal structures support their survival. So get that question down, and we can pause if we need to. Okay. If you're keeping up with the table of contents, this is what you would add to your table of contents, and we can pause the video if necessary, but I'm going to keep going. But this is what you would have. We are going to do vocabulary. That's what the VOC is for. And then we're going to do an investigation, just a short, quick one. So plant structure and growth, vocabulary, plant structure and growth, investigation. And here is our vocabulary. And it is always on Quizlet. So you can find it there. You're going to be looking for Plant and Animal Science Part 1. And those are going to be the terms that are going to be on your test. So you need to make sure you know them. And there are 15. So you really need to get those down. So we're going to pause if we need to. Okay. Let's go over them. Number one, adapt. We're going to talk about what it means to adapt, to adjust or change to suit conditions. How do you adapt when you're cold? How do you adapt to that? Don't you usually put a coat on? Think about animals. What do they do when they get cold? How do they adapt? And chlorophyll. Chlorophyll are little green pigments in plants that absorb light energy. That's what makes a plant green, are those little chlorophyll parts. Embryo, that's the earliest form of an organism. And while I'm thinking about it over in Quizlet, they will also pronounce these words for you if you are trying to learn them. Hit the little voice icon, and it'll tell you how to pronounce them. Function, to work or operate in a special way. Germination, the sprouting of a seed. That's when it first comes up out of the seed, when you just see it peek out above the ground. That's the germination. Leaves, those are the main organs of a plant. And without leaves, a plant cannot survive because it won't be able to get this right here, photosynthesis. And that's number 8. We'll read that in a minute. But plants have to have their leaves in order to conduct this process of life for them. Petals are just modified leaves, which are usually bright in color, and they attract pollinators such as bees. Here's number 8, photosynthesis. That's the process by which green plants use light energy to change water and carbon dioxide into oxygen and plant food. They're living creatures just like we are. They need carbon dioxide and oxygen as part of their bodies as well, and they need the sun in order to help create this process. So they use light energy in order to survive. Pollen is a fine dust that contains the necessary ingredients to produce plants. Pollen, we know that. That's what makes us sneeze. that fine yellow dust. Process is a series of actions or steps. We'll talk about that as it relates to our science topic. Roots are the underground organs of a plant that absorb water and minerals. Got to have those roots in order to for that plant to eat and drink. And a seed is just a plant embryo. It's the little basic unit of the life of a plant, and a food supply inside a protective covering. So inside the seed, there's also a little food supply. Seed coat is that protective covering of a seed, the part that's on the outside. Stem is a structure part. It's a plant of the structure in the plant that connects the roots and the leaves, and it basically carries the water and nutrients between them. You need the stem so that the nutrients and water can travel. And these are fun. Xylem and phloem. Say xylem and phloem. These are tissues in a plant stem that carry water and food upward from the roots to every part of a plant. Okay, the xylem and phloem. So let's move on. Okay, I'm going to skip over this little activity to this one right here. Okay, head your paper. We're about to do an investigation. So head your page with the title above, the date, and the symbol star if you're keeping up with a table of contents. This will have a star by it. And you're going to write down this important question. This is the question that we're trying to answer with our investigation. What would life be like for animals, plants, and humans if they were missing a certain part of their structure? Okay? What would life be like for animals, plants, and humans if they were missing a certain part of their structure? Now, you're going to copy that question down, and you're going to think about the answer. And that, your thought is going to form your hypothesis. It's what you think the answer to that question might be. So take a minute, pause the video if necessary, get the question down, and be thinking about what the answer to that question would be. Step 2, copy this simple chart below the hypothesis. Think about the structures animals need to survive and record your thoughts in the chart. Be sure to list why an animal would need each part. Think they need this in order to do this. Internal structures. What things are inside of a body help it to survive? Think about that. Think about things that are inside of a body to help it to survive. Then think about some outside structures that help certain plants and animals survive. Okay, I'll give you a hint. A polar bear. Think about a polar bear. What about its white fur helps it to survive? Think about a crab. What about its outside structure helps it to survive? Or an armadillo. So stop the video if necessary to get your thoughts down. Okay, for this activity, you're going to be given a card with a number on it, and you're going to find others with your number, and you're going to remain in that group together, okay? Okay, there are going to be 5 groups in all. 5 groups in all. So make sure that everybody is in their groups, and then let's find out what your particular group cannot use. What feature of your body cannot be used for this activity? Group 1, you cannot use your legs. Group 2, you cannot use your mouth. Group 3 cannot use their thumbs. Group 4 cannot use their ears. And group 5, we've got to put headphones, put something on the ears, put some cotton down in there to keep group 4 from hearing. And group 5 cannot use their arms. Okay? So let's practice. Okay? You have a mission. And your mission as you get across the room, get a piece of candy, bring it back to your seat, unwrap it, and eat it. All right. Let's copy down this chart. This chart's part of what we need for our actual activity. So let's get the chart down and let's get to working on the activity or your mission, in other words. Okay, let's go back over here to remind you. All right, let's keep this up on the screen while you practice the activity, while you actually do the activity. And I'm going to stop here with the recording so that we have the rest of the class time to conduct the activity.